Manitowoc police have a message for parents after two separate incidents led to the arrest of 5 juveniles in less than 24 hours.
Police tell us the incidents are unrelated, but both are concerning and involve weapons. In a first alert update, police tell our Brittany Schmidt these crimes have serious consequences.
It is a little concerning when you see the age.
Crime Prevention Sergeant Paul Crock with Manitowoc Police says they deal with juveniles often, but the two recent unrelated incidents are troubling.
Yeah, it's concerning that juveniles are involved in these type of crimes, especially when they involve firearms and the serious nature that having a firearm or a facsimile firearm can create.
On Sunday, police arrested 2 teenagers, 16 and 17, after shots were fired at an unoccupied vehicle and into apartments on Meadowbrook Drive in Manitowoc about 8 p.m. Police say no one was injured, but they believe about 12 shots were fired. Police recovered a stolen gun. The boys are facing serious charges, including first-degree recklessly endangering safety. On Monday, less than 24 hours later, a 14, 15, and 16-year-old boy were taken into custody for an armed robbery at Popp's University BP gas station on South 10th Street. Police recovered what they call a facsimile firearm or a fake gun and the stolen cash. These teen boys face charges related to armed robbery. Because the suspects are juveniles, we are not identifying them. However, Sergeant Crock says these are serious crimes, so he encourages all parents to talk to their kids about the consequences.
They are very serious. I would recommend that parents take an active role in their kids' lives, ask questions, get to know their friends, what they're involved with, things like that. And ultimately, if you do come across something, whether it be a parent or their peers, to reach out to somebody, a trusted adult, law enforcement, things like that, so we can hopefully prevent incidents like this from occurring.
Both investigations are ongoing. If you have any information, contact the Manitowoc Police Department. In Manitowoc, Brittany Schmidt, Action 2 News.